All right, how's everyone doing? I am Rich Cholenza. Thanks for checking out the Rich Cholenza Show. So I saw a quote that kind of blew me away. Excuse me, my throat. And it went exactly like this. No one can stop you when you believe in yourself. And it kind of hit me, and I love those quotes. I know I'm corny like that. I even post a lot on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, wherever. I just like posting those. And it's really weird with me. I love love stories, but I hate... I hate love stories in movies and television, but I love songs. And then I like love quotes, but I don't like poetry. It's all confusing with me. But I really love that quote because I truly believe in that. If you think about it, if you start believing in yourself, truly believe in yourself, what can stop you? Unless somebody tries to physically stop you, right? Maybe you're in prison or maybe something happened where, whatever the case may be, you can't actually physically go. I mean, you could do things, but you can't actually go out and do what you want to do. But for the most part, I think people don't realize how, if they truly start believing in themselves, no one should be able to stop you. Now, you're going to run into a lot of problems, that I can assure you, most likely, because you may not have the money, let's say, so you're going to have to learn how to raise money or get money. You may not have the education, so you're going to have to learn how to educate yourself. You may not even be able to do certain things where you're going to have to hire other people to do it for you or teach you how to do it. All those things, I get that. But if you really want to accomplish something, what's holding you back most of the time? It's yourself. I talk a lot about being creative too. I actually learned that from my cousin because it seemed like a couple of my cousins actually, no matter what they wanted to do, they were able to do it. And he would say, hey, let's get creative on this. And I'd be like, what is he talking about? Because I always looked at creativity because I was like writing or I liked filming things or, things in that nature. I looked at creativity as art. He's like, no, let's go to New York this weekend, or hey, let's go to Italy, or hey, let's figure out how to do this, or how do we do that? And I'm like, how the hell do I know? I don't even know what you're talking about. But he would start talking and start shaping it and forming it. And I'm not saying this happened in a matter of days. Sometimes it just took time. He's like, yeah, let's get creative. Let's figure out how to start this type of company. And regardless if it succeeded or not, I gotta give them credit. They believed in themselves, which I kind of was at a point in my life a while ago where I did a bunch of stuff, but I was exhausted. So I moved to California with my cousin. And I will say moving to California could be one of the most exhilarating and kind of, at the same time, I don't know what word, I can't say, not emotional, but kind of deflating at the same time. Because a lot of times you think you're going to go to California and it's going to be all this. And it's beautiful. The weather's beautiful. A lot of people are beautiful. They're so hip. Shit's going on. Listen, a lot of people bum rap in California. I could assure you. California, I know taxes and all property is crazy and all that. But it's a pretty amazing place to live in North America. A lot of great people there too. Great food, great atmosphere. And there's so much from all the way to the very bottom of San Diego, all the way up to San Fran, San Jose, all the way to the top. A lot of beauty, a lot of everything. And, I went there, but back to you go there and you're like, holy shit, especially hanging out in LA, people are doing things that you're like, why am I not doing this? And it's almost like a jealousy thing too. And I despise jealousy, but I'm like, how did he get to do this? Or how did he figure out how to do this? How did he get to make films like this? How did this guy get to, live maybe in a home like this? How do they have all these cars? How can they buy anything that, all these things in California? It's crazy like that. So at the same time, you're like, wow, yeah, I love this. I want to do this and all that. And then at the same time, you're like, wow, I'm so far in last. I goof around. I say, we're so far in last. I think I'm first. So you have all these guys that are leaps and bounds ahead of you. And you're not even in the game. Jesus Christ. So it was kind of like, you're going up and down. But I realized when I was there I truly figured out who I was throughout this whole mess. I figured out my strengths, my weakness, and back to being what my cousin a lot, who's extremely creative. He was kind of teaching me a different lifestyle too on just how to chill a little bit, how to relax and just enjoy the moment. Even him living by the beach, us just going there and riding a bike on the beach. I would have, I'm from Chicago and I lived in Florida, but I never was a guy who was going to take a bike on a beach. Even mountain hiking, right? Or even going surfing once in a while with him. Just going on a little treasure hunt with him and his sons and all these things, it just started to change my whole outlook on how I looked at things. And me kind of leaving everything behind for a while and just kind of really going off the grid as far as, I know you're not, we're in San Diego, that's not off the grid, but for me, believe it or not, somebody who only lived in Chicago and then somebody who really for the most part lived in Florida. And I traveled in my 20s a lot, but then I quit traveling when I had kids for a long time too. So now I went and lived in San Diego, and then I started to travel a lot and spending a tremendous amount of time by myself. Again, I was figuring out what is stopping me all the time from me accomplishing what I want to accomplish. And a lot of times it was me. And because after I made a couple films and then tried raising funding, I had nowhere else to go. It wasn't working. I was kind of stuck on stop. And I always started to come up with all these excuses why I couldn't, maybe if I wanted to write a book, or if I wanted to write some more screenplays, or I wanted to start some new websites, or whatever the hell it was. I kept looking around going, man, why don't you just do it? But I think a lot of us are so caught up with all the noise around us and everything else, we think they're either holding us back, or we think we don't have time, so that's holding us back. Again, it may be our finances are holding us back. All these things, but the truth is, we're most likely, we're not held back. We can move forward to do things we want to do. Now, if you want to start something that's a monster, say you want to create or build a high-rise or something, you could probably do it, because I've literally seen people through other people in California that weren't that successful or that super educated or wealthy, and they were able to pull off financing a high-rise, which I was in shock. I have some other friends, 2 friends in Chicago, do the same thing. I'm just using that for an example. I've seen guys that really don't know how to do much and produce big budget films and get it done. I've seen dudes, men and women, do incredible things that if you would have seen them at the beginning and then where they ended up, I am amazed. And a lot of the people I've noticed that do that are the ones that you would have never expected to do it. The ones that you think are going to be unbelievable, even if they're educated or wealthy or all these things, a lot of them, for the most part, that I've seen throughout my life, most of them don't get nearly as much done. A lot actually end up drug addicts, alcoholics, and a lot of other things I've seen. But it's kind of the underachiever, I think, I guess I would word them that way, that you wouldn't expect, but they don't let anything get in the way of going after whatever they desire. And I dig that about them. And you may be one of these people. Don't sell yourself short. I talk about it all the time, but I'm going to wrap it up there. I think you get my point. I've been trying to shorten these. You got any questions or comments, please hit me up. I'm at richchalenza.com. Yeah. Take care.